Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Full 40 with Willy and Chris. Chris, we have two tournament teams. Two tournament teams. How are we feeling?
Yeah, I mean, we're feeling, right? Let's start with the women, actually.
Yeah. Let's get after it.
I mean, look, when you consider program overall historical program strength, making the tournament, having opportunity to advance a round is a more significant. And I'm not saying this it's not an offense, but they did just make the Sweet 16 a couple of years ago. But it's more significant for the women's program than it is for the men's. I don't think that's a crazy statement to make. The women's seed are a 10 seed. Maybe should have been a 9. Whatever, it doesn't matter. I candidly prefer to be a 10 versus an 8 or a 9 if I had my pick. And I think they're playing Texas Tech
in Baton Rouge.
Baton Rouge, and the winner plays LSU.
Yep.
Right. And I think it's a tremendous accomplishment. They have as good a chance as anybody to win a game.
Yeah.
And then you roll your dice versus your second round opponent. Obviously, LSU is playing at home. Obviously, they have a big tradition. They have a coach with a lot of notoriety. I'll just say that, to say the least. And so, I'm really pumped. Women absolutely deserve to make it. I think a 10 seed. I thought they were looking at a 9. I don't know why I thought that, but they've done everything that has been asked of them this year, including making the Big East tournament final, which everyone kind of knew that was UConn's championship to lose. So no surprise how that game turned out, but they did what they had to do. They won the games versus the inferior competition that they had to, and then they won their semifinal game, and they had a good showing in the Big East. I'm actually surprised because I thought again that maybe they would have wound up maybe even in a home jersey in their first round game, but nevertheless, to make the field. As I said, I'd rather be a 10 than an 8 or a 9. I think that's a tremendous accomplishment for Denise Dillon and the Wildcats there.
Yeah, I think when we look at the women, it's there's a couple of different things that we need to consider. One is the level of the strength of the Big East. It's just different in the women's side. First off, or in the men's, actually, they're probably both not that great. Let's just call it what it is. And I think on the women's side, it's a little bit different because of the level of difference between UConn and every other team in the Big East. So it creates this kind of just this kind of chasm that can't really be figured out. So I think that's probably part of the reason we got a 10. We were the 2 seed, but we lost to UConn. I know we lost by 14 one time, but there were 2 30-point losses to UConn.
Yeah.
So I think when the committee looked at that, they're all right, this is the second team out of the Big East. I think we only sent 2 teams.
Yeah, it's just us 2.
Yeah, from the women's side. So it's I think they were this is where they deserve to be. Now, that being said, I think we're going to be a pretty trendy upset pick versus Texas Tech. Texas Tech, this is their first tournament since 2013. I'm not going to pretend to be a wealth of knowledge on Texas Tech, but I knew they have a pretty she's a guard, but I call her forward. Her name's Jalen Bristow, who is really, really talented. I believe she's a senior. I've seen some of her junior. I've seen her play before. But overall, this is, to your point, just a testament to the program, testament to the work that Denise has done. Getting back to this level is fantastic. And as we spoke about last week, if there's ever a time for Jasmine Basco to have a national coming out party, this is the time. On the national stage, do it versus Texas Tech, and then heck, if we're able to get a win and we get to go do that versus Flage and Kim and everybody down versus in Baton Rouge, and really be able to show that hey, Villanova women have some talent and are going to be here. I'm really excited about that. I'm excited to see Kennedy Henry, the freshman, also kind of get her chance at stardom. I think she's going to be like long term a very, very huge piece for us, especially if we can keep her and Basco together. Like I'm actually like kind of getting more excited about the future of this team in the program, as long as they stay here. So like you said, Chris, overall, I'm pretty excited with where the team is at. And we're going to see how this goes versus Texas Tech. I think we can pull off the upset. But yeah, the 10 seed was upsetting, but I think I'm chalking that up to the committee looked at it and said enough with like a two team. What's the word?
Yeah, a 2-team league with clearly a chasm in between, and they were just like, we got to put another team in, but we're not giving,
Yeah.
Got it. So look, that's awesome. I'm pumped. I'm pumped for them. I hope they win a game, and then it'll be fun. It'd be fun to get LSU because if I'm not mistaken, in Maddie Segrist's senior year when we made the Sweet 16, we lost to Miami. But had we beaten Miami, I think we would have played LSU.
I believe.
That
was 2023 bracket. I'm gonna look it up right now.
Yeah.
I think it was LSU.
I'm pretty sure I remember covering it. Yep,
it was LSU.
Yeah. Anyway.
Yep.
Cool. All right. So moving on, how are we feeling about the men? Can I be honest? Look, it's been 4 days or 3 days or whatever, how many days it's been? 3 days. And I still have a go ahead.
Prepare yourself, everybody. Go ahead, Chris.
Yeah. I still have a really sour taste in my mouth from fucking the Georgetown game.
He hasn't let go of this, so we're gonna let him.
No.
We're gonna let him get.
No,
get this
I still have a really sour taste from that game. I was there, which was horrible. But it was just great. It was just awful. We got beaten by effort. We weren't well prepared. We played them twice this year. They're missing like their best, second best, third best, whatever KJ Lewis. Like they were missing one of the best players, right? Like, yeah, we were missing Hodge, but like you can't compare the loss relative to their team, their loss versus the other. It was good. We got beaten up and down the floor that night. I feel like right now they just got another offensive rebound. Like just now, like I'm sitting. I was so pissed, and honestly, like the best thing that you could say about Villanova's resume before, and it was a compliment to this team. Yeah, the Creighton game, but if you look at when we played Creighton, they were looking pretty good. That was kind of like, yeah, whatever. We never lost to a team that we should have beaten.
Yeah,
that was like the best thing that you could say about Villanova is they beat all the teams that they should, and they lost all the games that they should, right? And they beat Wisconsin, right? And so you said, okay, we beat Wisconsin, and we beat Seton Hall at home, but you had the Creighton game that you lost at home. Okay, it's 2 versus 1. You offset that, whatever. Like you feel good, you feel okay about that, right? Like okay, fine. Like maybe not the top end talent to compete with the best level teams. Cool, we get it. Everyone gets it. If you asked everybody before the season started, would you sign on the dotted line for an 8 seed in the NCAA tournament this year, meaning that you were not sweating it out on Selection Sunday? Everybody in the fan base would have signed on the dotted line for that, 100%. But to have a 7 seed in our grasp.
I'm trying to get back to the full seed line so I can look, but yeah, you're right. A 7 seed was in our grasp.
To have a 7 seed in our grasp with winning 1 game versus fucking Georgetown, which is the other part of this that pisses me off more than anything else. I don't care if Georgetown fans listening to this and getting off to like good for them. They should. I hate Georgetown with a burning passion, right? Like losing to Georgetown at 9:30 at night in the Garden, dead last, missing one of their best players was terrible. It was disgusting. I was so pissed. I'm still mad about it. I'm still mad.
Looking at it,
go ahead.
Looking at it, we are the number 2 8 seed.
Number 2 8 seed.
Probably
absolutely was the difference. It was the difference. 100% was the difference. We win that game by any margin on Thursday night, and we're sitting here on the 7 line. And if you look at it, the 2 line and the 7 line, the 2 line versus the 1 line are totally different. Right? Like, you're playing a 1 seed, and you're like, well, these 1 seeds this year, and we'll go through the tournament. You're playing a 1 seed. It could be another 4-1 seed year. Do I think it will be? Probably not, but like it could be another 4-1 seed year. The top couple 2 seeds are really good, but once you get past that, you knew you wouldn't get UConn because they couldn't play us against UConn, right? Like you could have gotten a Purdue or someone. You don't know, and then you don't know with pace of play and whatever. Now instead, if we get past Utah State, which by the way, while we are wearing home jerseys, we're the betting underdog.
Betting predictive metrics, everything I've seen, we are the underdog.
Yes, we're the underdog. We'll get into the matchup, but we're the underdog. So, but let's just say you advance past that, and now you got Arizona in San Diego. This is the last week of the season, guys. Call a spade, right? And obviously that probably was the case if we made the 7 line, but at least you might feel good. You're probably the betting favorite versus your 10 seed. And you feel like, you know what? We shoot the ball well. Maybe we got a chance, right? Like it's just so that Georgetown game, knowing the stakes, knowing what was on the line, just a really terrible performance that candidly soured and still has me soured for what was otherwise a season that went above expectations.
I don't know if you saw this, but the men's basketball account released a central video of Kevin being interviewed post bracket release. And it's not something I really noticed, I guess, when I was thinking about the season, but obviously it's something that was important to Kevin. He called out that we didn't necessarily get a second bye week during the season, and that he felt like going into the Big East tournament that the team was tired. Now, excuses, retrospect, whatever you want to say, sure. But that does give me a little bit more hope internally that they looked at that and they're like, that's an aberration of what we should be. We have no excuses now. And in a similar way, okay, I'm not saying we can't lose Utah State. We can 100% lose that game, and we'll get into that. We cannot show up with that level of effort that we showed versus Georgetown. We cannot you cannot come out flat. And it's table stakes at this stage. It's the NCAA tournament. You're playing in the opening round of the tournament. I'm going to take up the glass half full way. Okay, we got that terrible, terrible, terrible game out of the way. Now going forward, can we continue to put our best foot forward? Can we play our best game versus Utah State? And if we do that, if we play our best game versus Utah State, we will win. I believe that. But if we can play our best game versus Utah State, and then we'll take our licks with Arizona, because if that happens,
it is what it is. Look. There are seasons, and we've had them. We've had our fair share of them. We're very
we've
fortunate.
Been that team. Yeah,
where the season's about us. It's about us. This year's not about us, right? In the national stage, this ain't about us, right? And so the Big East wasn't about us. This not about us, and it is. That's fine.
We're an NPC in this season.
yes, yeah, exactly right. We're the answer to a trivia question where Arizona makes a run to the Final Four. 5 years down the line, they'll be playing Quizzo in Arizona. Who did the Arizona Wildcats beat in the round of 32 on their way to the 2026 Final Four?
By 88 points.
That's what it'll be. And that's fine. Yeah. That's for this year. I'm not saying long term, but for this year, that's fine. That is the step in the right direction that this program needed. Absolutely.
And I think we hit, once again, to what you said, I'm thinking about this internally I think I believe this. As I'm saying this, as you said, step in the right direction. Everybody would have signed up for an 8 seed preseason. We're here. I think this season is a success if you beat Utah State. if we get a single win in the tournament, and I wouldn't say it was a failure if we don't, but like I can look back at the season and said we hit what we needed to do if we beat Utah State.
Yeah,
everything's in front of us, and that's where I'm at.
Maybe said a different way.
Yeah.
For as sour as the taste in my mouth that the Georgetown game left, if you go and win a game in the NCAA tournament, I am now going to say that loss goes away kind of.
Yeah.
But right now, I can tell you the day after the game, I was texting, this because it's texting. And I was like, that loss to Georgetown, it's not on the same tier. So I'm not comparing it. But like, if you want to put like most painful, worst losses that I've endured as a fan, with the NC State game in 2015 being the highest level, above Wisconsin, above St. Mary's, above like all those games that we lost, right? Like Georgetown, loss to Georgetown Thursday night was like a step below that like NCAA, those other couple NCAA tournament games that stung less than the NC State game. Like it's like might be in the top 10 for top 10
really
most painful loss. Yes. And granted, there was context for me there. I had a hotel in the city that night. I was like, I didn't think that we would beat UConn on Friday. But like honestly, like I know I said on the podcast, oh man, we're going to do it, whatever. But like, that's all part of just being excited and hoping for a win.
Yeah.
But like, I'm sitting here and I'm just like all the context in the world. I'm like, Georgetown, Ed Cooley has been dog shit there. That program hasn't come up at all. It's terrible. They're terrible. They haven't cared. They don't care. Mm-hmm. Since the new Big East thing, they made 2 tournaments, and one was a fluke run to the NCAAs in the COVID year when there was no COVID fans in the arena. And then they got a 13 seed, which is insulting. And then the other one was that random year in 2016 or something like that. I forget, or whatever year it was, where they made it. Yeah. Like it was absolutely. It's just unacceptable. It's just it just was terrible. It just really was bad. It really wasn't good. Okay, I got it off my chest.
Got off your chest.
Yeah.
So we're gonna start off. Let's talk about this game. But before we talk about this game, we have to talk about how I am coming up roses. So for anyone who doesn't know, I live in San Diego. I hadn't been able to watch a Villanova game in person since I moved here. So this time, or I moved February of last year. So I missed games, and it's just been and I'm replaying. I have them DVR'd and saved. I'm watching the games, obviously, but just hadn't been able to be in person. And about 3 weeks ago, I put in the group chat hey, if this breaks a certain way, there's a that's good to know someone's in Carlsbad. But if this breaks a certain way, there's a chance that they're going to be seated in San Diego. I think I said on the air that I was doing some seeding stuff about I wanted to see individual first round sites. I was doing that because I was like, is there a chance Villanova gets to San Diego? The second Florida, or I should say the second I saw that Duke was the number 1 overall seed and we weren't potted with Duke, I was like, I think we're going to San Diego, just the way that everything broke out.
Yeah.
I was literally sitting in here just screamed, yes, scared my dog, because I'm so hyped to be able to watch it, because I was really worried about, frankly, for myself of, all right, I'm going to Viejas no matter what. Viejas, for anyone who doesn't know, is San Diego State's arena. Really love it. It's a really cool arena. It has a big concourse outside, which is where all the vendors are. There's no vendors inside the stadium, and then you walk in the stadium and it's basically a big pit that you go down to. And so there's no bad sight lines or anything like that. So I bought tickets to for the first weekend, regardless of Villanova. I was like, I'm going to be at these games. I hope Villanova's playing the day before and not during these games, because I'm not going to miss an NCAA tournament. Now they're playing here. And this is just it comes up roses for me. So I'm going to be there when we beat Utah State. Let's bring that into existence. And then we'll talk in Arizona. I'll deal with that later. If that just goes that way. But to get into Utah State. So
you also get to watch St. John's.
Oh, I also get to watch St. John's. St. John's, and then Kansas actually. So if Darren Peterson decides he wants to play, we'll see him there. So Bill Self, St. John's, and then I'll get to watch Arizona, who actually has been one of my favorite teams to watch all season. They're phenomenal. There's like 6 NBA players on that team, so it's going to be good stuff. I get to see LIU fins up as well. There's just like there's a lot of like intrigue in these games for me. The tickets. Oh, I saw a question in the chat because we're just gonna like do this here. Tickets ran like I think I paid $450 but that was for both sessions, so for 6 games.
Did you get 3 sessions?
Yes, 3 sessions. So
you get the Friday afternoon and night,
and then
the Sunday. Yeah.
Yep. So 6 games, like $450. Yep.
That's a good deal. That's a great deal.
Yep. So I was like sitting there just staring at it, and I was like, I'm going to buy this no matter what. I knew I was going to go, so I just bought it last week, and it worked out. Excited for that. But let's talk through Utah State just to kind of give a little bit of a background. So they're coached by Gerard Calhoun, who has been at Utah State, I think, since Odom left. I want to make. I don't think. So it's 2 years.
He was previously at Youngstown State.
And
his name comes up a lot in like coaching search things. He's thought of to be a good coach, an up and comer.
Yep. So Utah State is, I believe, 4-4 versus Q1 or in Q1. They haven't played a Q1A team, but they're 4-4 in Q1 games. The biggest thing I'll take about is the Mountain West Conference is a legitimately very good conference. Like, this is going to, I'm going to say it. I think it's just as good as the Big East from the bottom. It just doesn't have the top. Like, that's just what it is. But it's a phenomenal conference. It's actually a shame that they only got one. San Diego State probably deserved to be in. You could have convinced me about New Mexico as well. It's a fantastic conference from bottom to top. That's my shout out to the Mountain West. But they went 4-4 in Q1. In Q2, they went 9-1. This is a Utah State team that is just like been very like solid all season. Like, I was just watching Calhoun's press conference before this, and he was talking about how disappointed he was in the bracketing because he thinks they deserved a 7 or at minimum a 7 seed is what he viewed his team as. And while I don't necessarily agree with that, there is some merit in it when you look at some of their predictive like rankings as well. Like in KenPom, Utah State is 30th overall. They're 28th in offense efficiency, 45th in defense. They are ahead of us in KenPom. Like, every metric is going to show Utah State as better than us, and they've been better from the metric standpoints all season long. If we want to start breaking down like who is on this Utah State team, I think like, give me 1 second before I do that. I want to take a second just to kind of pause and talk about their schedule, because there's so many different things that I want to like highlight on their schedule. So they played, I'm going to triple check, 2 tournament teams all season, and then the strong Mountain West. Yep. So they played VCU. They won by 3, and then they played South Florida. And I don't think I'm missing anybody else from their tournament or from the tournament teams.
Correct. They did not play a marquee opponent out of conference.
So they haven't seen like a marquee opponent. But like, once again, getting back to the Big East, I'm looking at like some conference rankings. The 6th best conference in the country is the Mountain West. They are right behind us as in terms from a statistical standpoint. So like, this is a very, very good Utah State Aggies team. So if we get to like where it is, everything starts at the head of the head of the snake for them is MJ Collins. MJ Collins was a transfer. I believe he started at Virginia Tech and then went to Vanderbilt. He was all Mountain West Conference. He's a pretty good like size guard. I think he's like 6'5", 6'4". He's going to be the guy to put the ball in the bucket for them. He's going to be the head of the snake for them. Everything they do starts with him being able to score. He isn't necessarily their best facilitator, but he's the one who wants to put the ball in the bucket for them, and that's who we're going to have to slow down for the most. He's not a shot chucker, but there's like 2. It's him, and then the other guard that they have, Mason Falsey. Falsey has been at Utah State his whole time. Falsey was the player of the year in the MAC, so like this is where like if Collins is the head of the snake from a scoring standpoint, Falsev, and I'm saying to wrong, Mason Falslev. Mason Falslev. That's his proper pronunciation. Falslev is going to be like everything else. He's from Utah, played at Utah State his whole career. I highly doubt you're going to see him transfer. He's averaging about 16, 6, and 3. He's slashing, like he's shooting 52 from the field, 41%. All of this to say is he's player of the year. He's all defense. He is like, I mean, between him and Collins, take your pick, but like he's the player of the year. He's their best player. Everything starts with Mason Falsev, or everything flows through him. I think Collins is actually the person that like is the better, not the better is not the word, but like is the indicator of their success. But Falsev is the like floor raiser and does literally every other thing for them. He's going to be everywhere. He's going to make a huge impact. Once again, defensive player of the year. And then across the board, there's other like really strong, I almost said cats. So Carson Templin is a forward that they have. And then Drake Allen. The good thing with Utah State is in the people that play a lot of minutes for them, they don't have insane size. We don't have a lot of size either, obviously. But what we're going to see is, I think this can be an opportunity if we're going to win. Duke Brennan is going to be a huge differentiator. There's nothing to say that like, oh, they haven't seen a guy who rebounds at the level of Duke Brennan, because like they have people like there are strong rebounders in every conference, but Duke Brennan's tenacity on the boards should be a difference maker for us as we begin our like just in the game for them. If Duke Brennan gets in foul trouble, I mean, we're in trouble. That's just the simplest way to think about it. But overall, like they have Carson Templin 6'8", and then they have a freshman from Arlington, Adian Alamin. Sorry, I'm pronouncing that wrong. Adlin Alamin, who's 6'9", but like is also like 185. Like they don't have the size really to deal with Brennan. They have they have a big off the bench that they'll use like kind of situationally, Zach Keller. But he's 6'10", so like he's going to be more of Duke's size, but that's not their best. Like they're not going to play their best with him on the floor. So this is going to be we need Duke Brennan, frankly, to put up 15 and 15 if we're going to win. And I think it starts with Duke Brennan for us. I've been flapping for a bit. Chris, any thoughts on Utah State? Anything that you want to say?
So I can't say that I've seen a whole lot of Utah State this year.
I watched a little bit because I've seen them in the Mountain West, and then just
Right. When I look at their resume, when I look at their KenPom, when I look at their efficiency numbers, the way they use their free throw percentage, they look a lot like us. Like, and maybe stylistically it won't play out that way. Like, I think they play a slightly quicker tempo. A quicker tempo. Mm-hmm. But like, I'm not like, they kind of shoot the three ball at the same percentage. They're a little bit better around with layups or whatever. Their guards are a little bigger. You said the big men are a little bit smaller. Mm-hmm. They kind of are relatively equally bad at shooting free throws as we are, which is an interesting fact, which could play a role at the end of a close game on both sides. It is interesting. Like I look at it and I'm just like, and maybe again, watching them on the floor a lot, maybe it'll be maybe it'll show up differently, like when we actually watch, but like they kind of beat the game. They kind of won the games they were supposed to win and they lost the games that they were supposed to lose, right? Like with maybe a trade-off of one here or there, but like, they didn't beat like a high-end opponent. It doesn't seem like they have – now, granted, we got the opportunity to test ourselves in that regard. They did not. Yep. But, like, if you look at their resume, like, you can kind of understand why they were seeded a 9 versus us as an 8, right? Like, they certainly don't have a win on their resume as good as Wisconsin. So – us beating them, this would be our second best win of the season. them beating us, this would be their best win of the season. So yeah, honestly, like if you're looking at their resume, like
Yep.
they lost like all their marquee away games other than at New Mexico, they lost. They lost at South Florida. They lost at Grand Canyon. They lost twice to UNLV. I guess it's a bad matchup for them. They lost at Nevada and they lost at San Diego State. They did beat San Diego State on a neutral.
Yep.
So like
when it mattered most, to be fair to them.
Correct, for the championship. Right.
Yep.
So it's just interesting. I don't know what to make of all of that. I think it'll be a tightly played game. I'm not seeing the world in which we get boat race, but then again, I would have said that about Georgetown.
The good thing with this is, like, I mean, we've already kind of seen this team. Like when we have a matchup like deficit, when we're like or when they're more athletic than us, it can get ugly. Utah State's not going to be marginally more athletic than us. We should actually. It'll be pretty much the same. So it'll come down to execution and coaching that it's really going to come down to. There's not going to be some insane athletic difference where it's like, oh, we can't even handle ourselves on the court versus them. But yeah, this is going to be fun. Like, it's going to be a close game. Utah State is like, I mean, like you said, Calhoun is a fantastic coach. I just triple checked because I was like, I felt like there was somebody before Odom or after Odom. It was Danny Sprinkle, who's now at Washington, because that was one of the things I was like, I felt like there was Odom was somewhere else before, or there was someone in between Calhoun and Odom. But Calhoun's one hell of a coach. He's been there the last 2 years. I don't know that he's going to be there much longer than this year, if not this year, next year. Yeah, and I'm excited because, like, I've watched some Utah State, but like not in a ridiculous amount, like enough to know names and enough to be like, yeah, I know these are people to like look out for. I'm excited to get back into like watching some of their film just to kind of get an understanding of like more and more who they are. Because that's how I like watch the games. I'll watch the film and just be like, all right, this is like what they do. So I don't have like much play style realistically of like, are they going to really get out and run? Is there a lot of motion in their offense? I feel like, to your point, Chris, I think saying that you're like looking in like some kind of mirror is probably a fair point for us as we think about this matchup versus Utah State.
Yeah. And should we win, we'll play Arizona.
Oh,
which probably won't go particularly well.
Talk about more athletic than us. Yeah. Beat with hammers is what I would go to.
All they did this year is have 2 losses back to back. Didn't lose before that. And didn't lose after that.
Yep. Oh God. So I kind of want to like take a second and like, I mean, there's 2 different things we can do here. Like, and I want to get your thoughts. We can start. We talked about going into the bracket and kind of like talking through the bracket, but I want to take at a high level before we walk through the bracket and we make predictions, because I think that'll be a fun way to do this. I think there's some Big East narratives we need to like talk about. And Chris, you brought this up in our text about just like feeling like the committee didn't do a great job of seeding like teams in general. The first thing that jumped out at me when they released a bracket was Missouri is playing in St. Louis, Missouri as a 10 seed. Versus, I believe their 7 is Miami. And then, so they have a home game like versus Miami. Like, I know Columbia, I think they're in Columbia. Yeah. Columbia isn't St. Louis, but it's there.
You have to assume that when you talk about the Mizzou alumni base,
they're going to be in St. Louis.
There's going to be a lot of them in St. Louis, right? And Kansas City, right? Like, so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then their 7 or their 2 seed is Purdue, who, yes, Purdue and St. Louis, like I'm sure Purdue has a lot of access to that. But once again, to give a 10 seed essentially a home game, I was like, what are we doing? And I just looked at it and I was like, you could have just flipped UCLA and Mizzou and it would have been fine.
No, you can't.
Or sorry, UCF and Mizzou.
Yes, right.
I said, yeah, that's what I meant to say, UCF and Mizzou, and it would have been fine.
It would have absolutely been fun.
Yeah, there's no reason to do that. And I'm like, maybe UCF played Miami, but I don't think they did. But this was like where I was like, the first thing I was like, what is the committee doing? And then we get into like even the more fun stuff of like the Big East.
There was I went through it. I actually went down the list. So first of all, because St. John's ended up as a 5 seed, which is not a protected seed. But again, just a comment. I think St. John's is a 5 seed if you actually look at their overall resume. Because they said it on the broadcast, and I know that, like, I have family who went to St. John's, and I have a bunch of people who are complaining, text messaging me, whatever. Like, why is St. John's a 5? Look, I think that at the very end of it all, if you actually really looked at it, you could have come up with a 4 or a 5. And given how their resume changed with beating what you had as a 2 seed in UConn a second time,
Yep.
like I probably would have opted to put them as the 4. But I think it's a defensible 5. Like I think Ken Palm, they wound up as a 17 on 17, which is efficiency metrics wise a 5 seed, right? Like yep. I think T Rank had them at 15, and I don't remember where BPI. I don't remember where BPI had them. Either way, cut line 4 or 5 for St. John's. So I could have gone either way with them. I wasn't offended by them being a 5 seed, but sure, whatever. Again, if you make them a 4 seed, you got to bump a 4 seed down to a 5 seed. Mm-hmm. And maybe there's 1 or 2 that nothing jumped off the page. Like, and just on selection, because you mentioned seeding, which I think is right. Seeding and placement placement was more my issue with this committee than like placement in the actual locations.
It's geography.
Geography.
Wow. Geography.
Placement was more my issue with this committee than selecting the field. In terms of selecting the field, I could have seen Oklahoma getting it, but like
I don't think they really missed.
I think they were fine. I was happy Miami, Ohio got in.
Yep.
I think that they're right that when they got in the field comfortably, but then actually when you apply the efficiency metrics, they're down there.
Yep.
Right? Like, I'm good with that.
Yep.
Like, so that was like that was one of the bigger questions, and I think they answered that correctly.
Yep.
And then Auburn did not deserve to be in the tournament. I'm like, we talked about this in the last podcast. 17 and 16 is not good enough to make the tournament.
We actually didn't, because I wanted to talk about it because I wanted to call them losers for even thinking that they deserve to be in the tournament, and I didn't say that.
Okay, well, I'm glad you said it now.
Yeah. Because I understand where they're like, we played a hard schedule, and we had, I think, the second hardest schedule in the country. Like, I understand that. My whole thing is you lost 16 times in that schedule. That is telling you that you're not a tournament team. And I understand that, like, well, Miami played like nobody, and so we can't see. But it's like, guess what? They won every game in the regular season. If you just cannot punt, the regular season has to matter. 16 losses has to matter.
I agree wholeheartedly. I don't care that I honestly do not care that Miami plays in a light league. I don't care if this was
31 wins is 31
I don't care if this is
wins.
Ivy League. I don't care if it's Ivy League. If Penn goes 30-0, they should make the field. That's like
what are we doing if we're not?
Yeah, correct. That's it. Period. But like if you go undefeated in the regular season, and I think that's a good precedent. I'm happy with the precedent. Go undefeated in the regular season. But if you want to run that risk, you want to run the risk of playing a really easy schedule. When you lose a game, you're done, right? Like, but like, again, regular season versus conference tournament, I view as a slightly different equation.
Yeah.
But if you run a perfect record in the entirety of the regular season, non-con and during the conference, I'm cool with it.
Yep.
I'm cool with it. Anyway, so I didn't have an issue with selection. I did have an issue with placement. I thought placement was really weird. Mizzou in St. Louis is like a really obvious example. I had an issue with UConn and St. John's being in the same region, Technically, they didn't break one of their bracketing principle rules, but like I think if you have 3 teams in from a conference, all 3 should be in a different region.
Yep.
But like, we're splitting hairs, and they are on opposite sides of the bracket, so like they would both have to make the Elite Eight to play each other.
And realistically, I think what you should have done is, going back to placement, St. John's shouldn't be playing in San Diego.
St. John's in San Diego was the worst break of their entire bracket because, by the way, getting KU in there as their 4 seed with how KU has looked is actually a good draw.
It's not it's not a bad break for them.
Yeah.
But like, I think realistically, like you could have, whether you like, I don't see why you wouldn't like drop them. I'm looking at the other 4s and 5s, like, and this is when this is the one exactly the one I want to talk about. When I was doing my own bracketing principles, Texas Tech was the one that I kept sending out to San Diego in this game. Flipping, and I'm without even looking at it, but flipping Texas Tech and St. John's, no issues.
Yeah, that solves the problem.
It solves the problem because Texas Tech, I believe, is in Tampa, and I don't know this for sure, but I would bet a lot of money.
Tampa.
I would bet a lot of money. There's a large St. John's contention in Tampa. They feels like a pipeline. I'm pretty. A lot of old retirees from St. John's end up in Tampa.
Yeah, my parents have a house in Naples. but that would be it. That's what I would do. Like, again, that's exactly right.
Yeah.
But wait, Texas Tech couldn't be in the same bracket as Arizona. No, it doesn't matter. They couldn't be with KU. That's the issue.
Yeah, you do some creative accounting. Switch Arkansas and Texas Tech, or Arkansas and Kansas. There's like ways around it, is basically what I'm getting at, that they could have made it work.
Wisconsin is the 5 seed.
Yeah.
Right? Wisconsin was a 5?
Yeah.
Wisconsin's doesn't change anything.
Yeah, you move Arkansas to the east to face like without even like talking about like the 13.
No. Yeah, you have it wrong because they're in Portland. Wisconsin's in Portland, as is
from location. Okay.
Yeah, so the location, you don't solve the issue there.
Yeah. Okay.
Who's the other 5? Vandy?
Vandy. And I don't know where they are playing.
They're in OKC.
Oh, that's kind of
better.
Yeah, you just put them halfway across the country. Yeah, that's easy.
Yeah, right. And you ship Vandy out west. That would have been fine with me. So here's an interesting thing. If you're looking for a team that could have an edge in a 4-13 game, a 13 seed that could have an edge in a 4-13 game, Kansas is playing California Baptist.
Mm-hmm.
California Baptist is in LA, basically.
Yep.
I'm just saying, they could ship their whole school down there for that game. I don't know. That's kind of a funky. Like, I looked at that. I was like, why is California Baptist playing at home? Like, usually sometimes the 14, 15, 16 type teams, they don't care where they actually put them.
Yeah.
Even if it is close to home. Because actually they kind of preference that because they don't want to necessarily I'm going to send everybody on a friggin' plane to just get demolished. Right. But that's kind of weird. I thought, especially because St. John's and KU are going so far. So the committee did KU no favors.
Yep. Which I'm okay with for this Kansas team. I'm kind of okay with. I'm excited to see Darren Peterson play for the 23 minutes he'll play before he's like, all right, I'm good. I know there's like a leg injury, yada, 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 but still. One thing I'll call out, though, so this is a little bit something that I tweeted about this for my personal. Last night, as a nerd does on the Saturday night, I was like sitting there thinking about tournaments, and I was like, who wins NCAA tournament games of like upsets? Like, who gets the upset? Of like, all right, you have your like, your 12 through your 12, your 5-12, your 4-13, your 3-14s that are like the big upset ones. But I wanted to look to those teams, like who were those teams in their conference tournaments? Was it teams that like won their conference like outright, or was there anybody that like was like a 6 seed that got hot and won? And what I like did is, because once again, this is just whatever, I ran a query utilizing Claude Code and all that fun stuff. So, and essentially found out that I'm reading this right now, of the like 67 wins of across all 13 to 15 seed upsets combined, 94% of those 67 were teams that came from the 1 or 2 seed in their conference tournament. So basically what I'm saying is if you're picking upsets, pick someone who was a 1 or 2 seed in their conference tournament, not a 4 seed that got hot and won their conference tournament, not a 5 seed that got hot and won their conference tournament. I think I can't remember who's like the 6 seed that made their conference tournament and just won.
Furman.
Like Furman did it. Like Penn was the 4. Don't pick Penn. Like is essentially what this is saying. As like just over time, only 4 teams that weren't the winners of their conference ones. And like there's exceptions. So like Oral Roberts in 2021, which was like Max Asmus, Kevin O'Banner, the team that beat Ohio State, and it was a 15. They were a 4 seed, but like COVID. And then another one was LaSalle in 2013, but like that was a weird 10-year. I almost like you can almost toss that aside as well. So this is one of those things that I was doing Saturday night. That's what my Saturday night was like running queries in Claude and being like, wait, what does this look like? And looking through the data. So that was fun.
I like that.
Yeah.
I like that. Yeah. So look, so that was one thing I noticed. The Mizzou game was really big on me. Like Wisconsin, High Point is in Portland. Arkansas, Hawaii is the other team in that pod.
So this was
Portland, and I'm like, Hawaii is randomly getting a home game, but like it's probably a longer flight actually. Yeah. But like
once Hawaii got in, it's like you can't really put them anywhere else, but
you have to put them on the West Coast.
They have to be on the West Coast.
Yeah.
The issue that I've seen, and this is just like I felt like there was a weird group of like sites for the first round because Portland, there was only 3 West Coast, if I remember correctly. It's Portland, San Diego, and it's actually those
Portland,
are the only
San
2.
Diego, Oklahoma
City. Yeah, and then it goes west. And there's just like, and Portland being so far north and not having like, frankly, like that many programs up there just created this like weird like bubble where it's like there are teams that are going to be sent to Portland that just shouldn't be there. Gonzaga kind of makes out with Portland, where it's like, hey, this is fantastic. We're a 3 seed. We're 4 hours south of where Portland's probably like 4 or 5 hours south of Spokane. I don't know that for sure, but it feels like it's probably that. Southwest. Yeah, southwest. Yeah.
I have other things that they fucked up.
Yep.
Okay, so the whole bottom half, the bottom couple of the Florida bracket is absolute insanity. Absolute insanity. From like it's insane. I don't know if I've seen anything this bad. North Carolina plays VCU in Greenville, South Carolina.
Mm-hmm.
On the surface, you're like, cool. Both those teams are kind of close. That's awesome. Every time Duke and North Carolina get high seeds, they're always in Greenville, South Carolina. Yeah. So like, cool. Except North Carolina is a 6 seed. Illinois is their 3 seed. And Illinois is getting shipped to Greenville, South Carolina to play the winner. Okay, maybe VCU upsets North Carolina. I don't necessarily think that will happen, but maybe it will. But still, they would play VCU in South Carolina. That's an away game. VCU is actually a huge school.
Yeah. Oh, VCU will travel so well for that if they get there. Like
North Carolina is right there. That is an insane positioning for Illinois. If I was an Illinois fan today, I'd be on my Illinois podcast in my orange and losing my mind over this. Like it is absolute insanity to have that seating. And then the other one that's kind of right there with it is the one also there, the 2 teams that would end up facing each other is Houston is in OKC. On the surface, that's the closest one to them. That makes sense. Who would they get potentially as their 10 seed if they advance? Texas A&M, who is closer Texas A&M has to get past St. Mary's, so like obviously anything can happen. But like, what are we doing? Like,
I'll give them a pass on the Houston one because it's not like what you're doing is you're essentially creating a neutral, like a true neutral site between, even though Texas A&M is closer to Oklahoma City. Like I just like it, I understand it, but then once again, it's really not that hard to switch them out with another 10 seed. But I think the reason they probably don't do it is because Houston also has the South Regional, and they got, as a 2 seed, they got preferential treatment in the South Regional being in Houston. So I think that's the committee's way of like, fine, we'll
they
give
don't
you
map
this.
it. Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. The South Regional does not have to map to the OKC.
No, you're right about that. But I'm saying, but when they're in the macro scheme of things, they think, okay, we can put them in OKC because we know they're going to be in the South Regional. Like it doesn't matter that Texas A&M is who they're playing at. Basically, I'm saying the committee looked at it from the holistic view and was like, it's fine either way because they have the preference of the South Regional.
If you want to take a flip-flop that works,
yeah.
Texas A&M, move it to Mizzou. Flip Mizzou and Texas A&M. They're both in the SEC. It works perfectly. If you flip Mizzou and Texas A&M, you have Texas A&M going to St. Louis, and you have Mizzou in OKC.
I think that's actually hilariously enough. I had Miami, Texas A&M in Missouri in my own little bracket potting that I was doing. I was like, when you said that, I was like, wait, that's exactly what I had was Miami, Texas A&M, and they were
because that makes sense.
Yeah.
And then the North Carolina thing is just crazy. It's crazy. They would be away. Illinois would be away in their second round game. Full blown away game.
I don't know why they did that to Illinois. It doesn't make any sense to me.
For a team, by the way, in Illinois, Illinois is like a trendy Final Four pick.
Should have title thoughts. Like Illinois is a fantastic basketball team. Yeah. Like they should be thinking about the Final Four. And I mean, it's a tough region. Like I don't really love that region for them. Also, we talked about this. I'm going to go on a quick aside, and we'll talk about this when we get into the bracketing. I think Florida got maybe their most favorable path that they could have gotten to get to the Final Four.
Florida would get the winner of Iowa and Clemson. That's not bad. And then they'd get, well, I think, okay, so another comment on placement.
Oh, yeah.
If they get to the Sweet 16, they theoretically could play Vanderbilt, who just beat the crap out of them. So,
yes,
that's kind of a weird. But you got a lot of SEC teams in. Like you're going to have that with the SEC, but like that's a little bit of a funky one. But like Nebraska is not like I'm not thinking Nebraska is like Nebraska might be happy to win a game.
I want to pick them to lose because I actually I generally do believe that Troy was like one of the best mid-major or like low major teams. But like I had them in a season-long pool. Troy's a fantastic basketball team this season. They went to Viejas and beat San Diego State. They have like very strong wins. They're a great program. I really want Nebraska to get that first tournament win. Really want.
Yeah, I do too. Scott Cross is an up-and-comer. Well, he's actually been coaching for a long time, but his name is in the mix for jobs.
Yep.
So he's coaching for his career potentially versus Nebraska.
Yeah, I mean Troy's just a deep team. Like they're just deep. I like them. All right. Do we want to?
Yeah. So I don't know. That was it. I didn't actually I didn't really complain about anything else. I thought everything else the committee did fine. It was just like the placement was lazy.
I don't disagree. I agree with that.
Okay.
All right. So the next thing we're going to do is Chris and I are going to we'll kind of wrap this up. We're going to build a bracket. And then actually, Chris, I just thought of this. I have another thing we'll do after the bracket if we have time.
Yeah, it's fine.
Let me just put that in the chat.
Did we take a prediction?
For Nova?
Yeah.
You know what? Fuck it. I always pick us to win, and then we always lose. And why would I ever change? So Cats going to win. The Cats are going to win.
I have Villanova by 5.
Yeah. Which also, just as an aside, I guess we got like fake game times that were released. Which I don't know what that was, because it said we were playing. So this is for everybody who like maybe just saw the first game times and like took that as the word. So it said the game was going to happen at basically 10:30 Eastern time, which I thought was on Friday, which I thought was insane. I was like, that's a late game there. They changed it, so now it's a 4:10 tip, 4:30, 4:10. It's in the 4 period, and they also moved Arizona earlier too. So they
have to do that.
Yeah,
they have to do that. So they take the pod.
Yeah.
The pod has to play at the same time. So Arizona, it's still weird. It's still weird because Arizona is playing at 1:35 Eastern.
Yeah. So it's a 10 a.m. game. Like, I'm going to be at the stadium at 10 a.m.
Yeah, it's a 10 a.m. That's such a weird nuance there. I don't know why they did that. Like, it would make it. Why wouldn't you? Like, I was fine with having Arizona. I was fine with being the late game.
Yeah.
But like Arizona should have been in the late seat, right? Like,
I don't. I was thinking like, do you do it because Arizona should beat Long Island? Like, that's what should happen. And if they like, assuming they take care of business, Arizona then has like a true 36 hours to get ready for their next game.
Sure.
Like maybe that's the thought process that goes into it, but I'm not really sure.
But like that's not what they did everywhere else. That's not how they normally do. They don't usually care about that.
Yeah. So I don't know if those times
I would have put like given what we have, I would have put Villanova, Utah State at the 1:35, and I would have put Arizona, LIU at the 4:10.
Yeah.
But if you're not going to do that, then like I also would have kept it because the other pod is the St. John's, Kansas pod. And now they have St. John's, Kansas in prime time, which that makes sense. I get that. Yeah. I just would have put Arizona versus LIU as the Friday late game.
Mm-hmm.
And then us before it. And then I would have probably put St. John's, and it doesn't matter. Like but whatever. Fine. Whatever. They flipped it. They flipped it later on and changed the TV times.
All right.
Okay. So, anyway, sorry.
Chris and I are going to go through. I'm going to share
your screen.
Yeah, I'm going to share my screen. We are going to go through and we're going to pick the NCAA tournament. So we're going to go through the bracket. Can I put? I don't want to do the quick bracket. Actually, I do. No, I don't. Preview. It's the preview.
This is not my bracket or Willy's bracket. This is a mutually agreed upon bracket.
Yep.
So
we're gonna
Yep. So name it full 40. If we win a car,
yep,
we'll split it down the middle.
And I think what I'll actually do is like, why the heck not? I'll create, or I kind of already did create. We'll create a little full 40 bracket thing. No prize, but just if anyone wants to join, feel free to join in. So I'll put that in the chat once we get to the end of this. Yeah. But so I wanted to go to this view because it just shows like every team's information before we go through. We're not going to look at the whole bracket. So we're going to build this and we'll see what we come up with at the end. So, and if we need to discuss anything, we'll go through. I think some of these will be pretty unanimous. So we're going to start with Duke versus Siena. Chris, are you going to pick an incredible upset here, or are we good?
No, Duke.
That spread is 29.5. Yeah. So
yeah, we're going with Duke.
But if you want to make generational money, Siena's money line is plus 3,500 according to DraftKings. But yeah, we're going to take Duke.
Okay.
Can I move on to the next one, or are you just going to make me exit? All right, well, this is annoying. We're just going to do this the old-fashioned way then. All right, so then Ohio State versus TCU. I'm going to just go in and out.
You like TCU, don't you?
TCU is my second favorite team in the country this year. I saw them. So they played here in San Diego at the Rady Children's Invitational. They played, it was them, Wisconsin, Florida, and Providence. TCU ended up winning it. TCU has a center forward named David Punch, who I absolutely adore. I think he is such a fun basketball player. He plays in such a unique style. It's like if Boris Diaw was it's almost just like a Boris Diaw type of thing, but he's like more of a big man. I absolutely love David Punch, and then they have a lot of like really good athletes and a like heady point guard. Like I love them. I also kind of detest Ohio State just across everything. So my pick is always going to be TCU here.
Ohio State has had a nice little finish to the season to ensure that they got into the dance.
Yep. 100%.
But I don't have a strong proclivity on this one, so I will go with your TCU pick.
I just look at this. Look at these losses. Just I don't know. I don't like them. TCU. We're picking my frogs. All right. So then we're gonna go to. They really need to make these brackets better. In San Diego, UNI versus St. John's. So one thing I do want to triple check is I don't know if UNI won their conference. I know they won their conference tournament, but I don't know if they were a 1 or 2 seed. But you can look through here.
No, they finished as the 6th seed in their conference.
Oh, okay. Sorry, got a phone call. Did the face pop up on there, by the way?
What?
Did my phone call pop on the screen?
I didn't see it.
All right, perfect. Okay, they finished as a 6 seed?
Yeah.
Oh. All right, well, then I'm picking St. John. Yeah, St. John. Also, like, this is going to sound insane. I, like, low-key, like, might pick St. John's to the Final Four. I don't know. I'm feeling some Kool-Aid right now. I love Zuby. I love the St. John's team. They're going to disappoint me, but, yeah.
I will say this. In the last 16 years, under the same coach, every time Northern Iowa has made the tournament, they've advanced a round.
There's a lot of history there.
It's been 3 times, but they did it.
Yeah.
In 2009, they did not. But in 2010, in 2015, and 2016, they advanced a round.
Okay.
For context.
Okay.
But
are we going to do that?
No, I'm picking St. John's.
Yeah.
I'm picking.
All right, we're doing it. All right.
St. John's is coached by Rick Pitino with a week to prepare.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
KU versus California Baptist.
I think I'm just going to call it, Chris. I think we want to pick Cal Baptist, don't we? I'm just going.
Cal Baptist came in second, a close second to Utah Valley in their league, the small league, the Western Athletic.
And I will say, like, I watched this. Dominique Daniels is a baller. Like, he's very, very good. I don't know, man. I don't know.
It's such a weird thing because you just don't know if what's his face is gonna.
If Darren Peterson, who, like, let me be so clear, like, you will be hearing a lot of Darren Peterson at the NBA level. He is such a gifted scorer. Some people have been like, he's like Kobe. That's an insane thing to say, but like, it's like watching Devin Booker play. Like, that's who I compare him to. He's phenomenal. He just has like lingering calf injuries and he's like losing. Yeah, I don't know. I could just see it going weird, and I don't necessarily love this Kansas team. If we wanted to get funky, we could. The spread isn't like that insane. But I do love Flory Badunga from Kansas too.
I'm not ready to do it.
Yeah, I mean, the rest of Kansas I really like. Flory Badunga, Trey White, like everything else.
I mean, let's just be clear. Kansas has been playing like absolute dog shit.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
I don't know if I buy it. I don't know if I buy a loss here.
Let's just do it. I'm okay. As I think about the rest of Kansas, like Cal Baptist isn't going to be able to guard Melvin Council. So, yeah, I'm fine with this. All right. Then we have Louisville and South Florida. This has been a trendy upset pick. You can already see it's 33% picking USF. Brian Hodgson, who I don't think has a job offer yet, but will definitely get one from somebody else pretty soon. I love the guard combination that Louisville has with Conwell and Michael Brown, but Brown has a back injury, and I don't know that he's playing in the tournament, which would change.
I'm also
everything.
not like this big Pat Kelsey lover.
Interesting.
Like, I think that I'm not convinced that that South Florida doesn't have the coaching edge.
Really? What's your deal with Pat Kelsey? I love Pat Kelsey. All right.
He's energetic. I don't love him. I don't love him. Like Brian Hodgson crushed it at Arkansas State. Now he's at South Florida. Had a great season. I kind of like South Florida. I get why people are picking USF.
Yeah. Let's do it.
Where's the game? Buffalo. All right. So there's nothing like specific about the game, and they're both East Coast teams.
Let's do it. Is this the first game? Yeah, it's also the first game. It's 10:30 Pacific, but we're talking 1:30 Eastern.
It's one of the first games. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. I'm locking in for USF.
Yeah, I like it.
All right.
If you're looking for an upset pick, I like it. Plus, also like the Louisville fans are not thrilled with this guy, so like this feels like an upset-y type situation.
All right. Next, we have Michigan State versus North Dakota State. I don't have a reason for believing this, but I want to pick North Dakota State. There's not a single reason in the world I should pick them, but I want to. That's my analysis. I don't have, you can't ask me like why I believe that. There's not a single, it feels right to me. And that's the best I have.
And there is not a whole lot on North Dakota State's resume to get excited about.
Yep. I once again, this is a weird gut feeling.
They did win the Summit League.
Okay. See, there we go.
They did win the Summit League.
What are we thinking? It's fine. We can pick Michigan State. I'll deal with it.
I don't know. There's nothing on here's the thing. It's like there's nothing on pace of play or anything like that suggests like a uncomfortable matchup for any reason for Michigan State.
And I'm going to be honest, I haven't watched a second of North Dakota State besides when they won the conference tournament. Like I have literally no reason to believe this. Truly no reason to believe this.
I'm not going to let you do it.
All right.
We're gonna do a couple, but that's not there on this one.
Yeah,
I don't have Michigan State going very far.
No, and that would be the reason I would say you could pick it is because I don't think. Yeah, we'll say.
Yeah, right. You're playing bracket defense because you're like,
exactly.
All right, well, I don't think this team's gonna go very far, so might as well just do the trendy upset pick and get it over with.
Yep.
Or not even the trendy one, but like a fun one.
Yep.
I am not at all a believer in UCF.
Thank you. We can keep it moving. I know.
And Furman's on
Furman.
UConn.
Right. We can pick UConn.
UConn's coming off a loss. They're going to win.
Yeah. All right. So do we want to continue down this bracket or do we want to go to the next first round? How do you want to do this?
Let's get to this. Let's set the Sweet 16 and go from there.
All right, cool. Duke, TCU.
Duke.
I want to pick TCU so bad, but yeah, it's Duke.
It's Duke.
It's Johnny's versus Kansas.
Johnny's.
Yeah, we already thought about
we spent a lot of time on KU before.
Yeah.
Johnny's. Yeah. All right.
South Florida, Michigan State. Can this be it?
You could do it.
Yes.
You could do it. I kind of like the idea of South Florida here.
All right. Wait, Isaiah Nelson. That's not.
And if I'm not mistaken, did South Florida have to hire Brian Hodgson
because of
their old coach died?
Yes, because of the death of
who was a good coach too.
Yeah. Oh, I'm forgetting his name, and that's so sorry. Abdul. That's so embarrassing. But yes, that's why Hodgson was hired.
Yeah, so there's a story there. There's a story there.
Amir Abdur-Rahim. Thank you. I was like,
yes.
I was like, I know it's Abdur-Rahim. I couldn't remember what his first name was. But yeah, there's a story there. Is this the same? Hold on. I got to look at Isaiah Nelson real quick. Is this the same Isaiah Nelson I'm thinking of? It is the same Isaiah Nelson from Arkansas State. That's what I thought. Okay. Yep, we're picking it.
Yeah.
UCLA, UConn. I'm not going to go against UConn. UCLA
was already kind of look. I don't like UCF, so I'm fine with UCLA in round one. UConn, 100%.
I'm not going to fight for UCLA. I'm just going to say Donovan Dent's been going on one of the best point guard runs I've ever seen in my life. Like over his last 10 games, I think it's maybe 9. We're talking about 80 assists to 3 turnovers. He has been everything to UCLA, who's gotten hot at the right time. I'm not going to pick them. I just want that to be known that there is a person that can put UCLA over the edge.
UConn got a good draw here. This is the exact UCLA is the exact type of team that UConn's going to beat up on.
All right, so we have our Sweet 16
for this bracket. Okay, move to the next. You want to go down to Florida? This one?
Yeah, it doesn't even
Florida.
Let me click. We're just gonna move that here.
Yeah,
Clemson and Iowa. So Brendan Hausen, first off, getting his time to shine. Also, I forgot to mention, Chris Parker's on UCF. Not that that matters, but
this to me is. Iowa's the 9 seed here.
Yeah.
This to me is Iowa's the clearly better team. They've been crap of late, so that's the knock on them.
Yeah.
But they're the better team with the better coach.
I have no issue picking Iowa here.
I'm all in on Iowa.
When my cards are down, I pick point guards, and Bennett Sturts is one of the better point guards in America. So I have no issues.
Yeah. I just think Ben McCollum is a better coach than
Vanderbilt versus McNeese. Aura is back. Let's be very clear.
So I kind of Vanderbilt is really good. Vanderbilt's really good. They're by far the highest ranked 5 seed in Ken Pom.
Yep.
By far.
Tyler Tanner's fantastic. This is a really, really good team. What's his name? McLaughlin's solid. Are we going to get weird?
Are we getting weird? This is kind of a game that, if McNeese got any other 5 seed, I'd probably other than St. John's and Vandy, I'd probably be let's get.
As much as I want to get weird, I think Vandy's going to win. I think this is a really good Vanderbilt team.
I think Vandy. I'm just looking at pace. I'm just trying to see if there's anything that's going to make it weird. So McNeese plays much slower than Vandy.
Yep.
But I don't know that, I don't know. I don't know if I watched McNeese play in their conference tournament. For whatever reason, it was on a lot, and I watched it a lot. I don't know if they're disciplined enough to keep Vandy from running and gunning. I think they could put a scare into Vandy.
Yeah.
But I think Vandy's going to win with all the possessions they're going to create.
Yeah, I'm cool with it.
All right.
Nebraska versus Troy. I'm picking Troy. I don't care.
You got it.
I'm going for it.
You got it.
Sorry, Nebraska.
Another year, you'll have to wait.
Yeah.
It's so painful for them.
Yeah. UNC VCU. So this is where Caleb Wilson is not playing in the tournament. And I believe what's his last name? Whoever the chair was, Keith, the Sun Belt commissioner. I'm just going to call him Keith. We're on a first name basis. Said that was taken into account when they seeded UNC at 6. That they probably would have been higher, but they don't have Caleb Wilson. For anyone who isn't aware, Caleb Wilson, stud freshman, 6'10", 2 something, defensive menace. He is consensus as of now number 4 player in the draft. He's phenomenal. He broke his hand. He's not playing. So it's a bit interesting. I will say I can't pick against UNC because I just truly do think this team's it's just one of those UNC teams where it's they don't have the superstar. I mean, they do, but Wilson's not playing. But they've been playing well, or they had played well. I like Henri Vesar. I think he's a really good big. He's getting some NBA buzz. I can't pick it. I can't pick against UNC. If you have a reason for VCU, then I'll take it. But
I mean, I think, I'm fine with it. I without Caleb Wilson, I was kind of I was actually kind of leaning VCU on this, but I kind of get where you're coming from. Yeah. I'm not. You have a stronger view than I do. So
I just think this is all around a really solid UNC team. Versus, let's now be clear, they won their conference and they beat the crap out of Dayton. I don't know. I'm clicking UNC. I'm making an executive decision.
Okay.
So we have Illinois versus Penn. I love Illinois. I'll go to war for them. I mean between
Illinois.
Illinois. I don't even need to break it down. We can break them down later. Yeah. St. Mary's versus Texas A&M. What does St. Mary's do when they meet a very, very athletic team? This is probably the closest we've seen, like almost a true 50-50 based off what people are picking. I've been kind of leaning Texas A&M. I'm not going to lie. I mean, Bucky McMillan. It's just like the short of what I'm saying. But I've been leaning Texas A&M. That's just what I'll put it at. I think Texas A&M is going to be able to run a lot on them. This one might be like a instant classic. Like I think this is going to be a really good game though.
This is going to be a battle of tempo war. This game, who controls tempo is going to win the game.
Mm-hmm.
So this is like, do you believe the game will be played above 75, or do you believe the game will be played below 65? Right?
Yeah.
If you think the former, it's going to be Texas A&M. If you think the latter, it's going to be St. Mary's. So it's like, who do you think has the ability to dictate tempo? I'm asking you.
I think Bucky McMillan and Texas A&M are going to do it.
Okay.
Yeah, that's my take. That's where I'm at.
Bucky ball gets it done.
I believe in Bucky ball.
Okay.
All right.
I'm not fighting you on it.
Then we have Houston, Idaho. If Houston loses, I will eat a banana.
Do you have an allergy?
No, Houston should win.
All right, so now we got to go this one. Florida.
Yeah, Florida.
Florida.
Yeah, that's the one I think. Sorry, okay. I'm also trying to pull up something. All right, Vanderbilt versus Troy. I kind of just like, I kind of just like, all right, Troy's done, and then Vandy continues on their way.
Yeah. Cool with that?
Yep. UNC, Illinois.
So this is a game where I would have had VCU winning, beating North Carolina personally, but like I'm fine with your pick. Either way, I think Illinois is the best team.
Illinois, and then
Houston.
It's not much of a thought to me here.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. So right now we're looking at 1-5, 3-2, 11-2, 1-5. Okay.
Okay. I mean, look, I think the bracket will be chalky. So
yep.
Arizona
by here. Here we go.
Villanova.
Yeah. We can't not pick.
We already agreed that we picked Villanova to win the game, so we're picking Villanova. All right.
So here's my pitch. High Point won the regular season, won their conference. And double check me if I'm wrong, but High Point did that. High Point is, and I'll even pull up in like the numbers here as we go down here. High Point is a potent offense. They are a stingy defense. This is going to come back to bite me. I don't think Wisconsin is that amazing.
Wisconsin is certainly had their up and downs this year.
I saw Wisconsin in person twice, and I came away like, I'm not that impressed. We beat them, and I was like, yeah, not that impressed. And then they got hot.
They beat Illinois twice.
And then
they beat Purdue. They lost to Ohio State, and they lost to Oregon, and they lost to USC. And they lost to us. They beat Michigan.
Fine, I can't do it.
It's weird. I
can't do it. I can't do it. I can't do it. This is going to bite me in the butt. I'm so Calipari Arkansas coded. I love this Arkansas team.
Yeah. I'm good with it. Go ahead.
We'll break down later. BYU versus the winner of Texas versus NC State. So Texas, NC State, we're dealing with Sean Miller versus Will Wade. NC State has a lot of people from the former McNeese State on the McNeese team. Quadir Copeland is one of their better players who is on that same team. BYU is AJ DeBansta. So I guess first is actually, regardless of Texas, NC State, do you think any of them can beat BYU?
No. BYU had a really rough go in their conference play in the last couple months. But they did beat Iowa State and Texas Tech down the stretch. I think BYU gets it done.
I want to pick against it, but I'm actually okay. I'm fine with this.
Yeah.
There's a part of me that thinks NC State's about to make a run, but I'll get over it. Gonzaga versus Kennesaw, and basically in a home game. So Kennesaw's team that they went 10-10 in conference. There's no way they were a top whatever seed.
No.
In their conference.
This tournament. Is a Gonzaga.
Yeah, this is Gonzaga obliterating. Miami versus Missouri.
Honestly, I'm going with Missouri. Because the home game.
Yep. And then
this is where I think that home game comes into play.
And then Purdue Queens.
Purdue.
All right. We don't even need to discuss Arizona versus Villanova.
Arizona. Yeah.
This is a fun one. I'm going to go, I believe so heavily in Arkansas, not just Darius Acuff. First off, they have a great 1-2 backcourt with Acuff and then Malik Thomas. Then they also have Wagner coming off the bench. Trevon Brazile has been in Arkansas, which is having somebody that's been at one school for the whole time is always great to see. Brazile's been there forever. Billy Richmond is one of the more unique defenders and athletes I've seen. I love this Arkansas team.
If you're setting up to pick Arkansas over Wisconsin, you don't have to convince me. I'm in.
Yeah.
Okay. That's fine. I'm in.
BYU Gonzaga.
Can I say BYU? Am I allowed to say BYU?
I kind of want to say
not a buyer into this Gonzaga team.
I don't mind them, but I kind of like the idea of AJ DeBansta going on a little run and having a little fun with this. So I'm going to BYU.
Okay.
Do we want to buy into this Missouri beating Purdue? No. I'm okay with that. All right. So 1-4, 6-2. Then we're getting to the Midwest. Michigan. I'm just going to click.
Michigan.
Yeah.
UMBC had their time in the spotlight. Not going to do it again.
This is a toss-up to me. Georgia's super athletic, and and they can shoot the lights out of the ball.
St. Louis has the better coach.
Yeah.
I hear you on the athleticism and everything. And Mike White's a good coach. Don't get me wrong. I don't have a huge issue with Mike White, but he's a fine coach. But I think St. Louis has the better coach.
Early season, this Georgia team was I don't think they were undefeated, but I was are they about to make a run in the SEC? They didn't. All right. I'll give you St. Louis here. Texas Tech versus Akron. I want to pick the Zips. But
Texas Tech is a risky pick now because didn't they lose their best player?
Yeah, JT Toppin's gone. But they've actually been pretty decent without him.
What are you talking about? They lost their last 3 games.
But but as a whole, they've been decent. He got injured a month and a half ago. It's been a while that he's been out there.
They did win at Iowa State. So
yeah, it's they actually have been not terrible without him.
I am pro. I think I want to pick Akron here.
I will let you pick Akron. Yeah, I'm not going to pick Akron in my bone bracket, but I'm okay with picking Akron here. I think Texas Tech might have some shit to them. I think Grant McCasland really
I like Grant McCasland as a coach.
And I think Toppin's out, but I don't know. Christian Anderson's been fantastic. Plus they have Josiah Mosley. I almost called him Jeremiah Mosley.
Akron is also the best team from their conference.
Yes, they are. They were a 1 seed. Alabama Hofstra. So
Can we fuck with?
I
Speedy
kind of
Foxy?
this is a purely I love Speedy pick if I pick Hofstra. Because I actually like, I mean, Alabama is just a better team. Nate Oates is a phenomenal coach. Are we going to do the pick 12 and 13 though?
Sometimes there are 12, 13s. It's again a tempo game. Like,
I mean, Alabama's going to just run all up
Yeah.
the court. Yeah.
yeah, I'm like, the logic in me is like,
I'm logicking it too much. I'll take Alabama.
yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not a believer in this Alabama squad, but like,
I
a long run.
yeah. For a long run, I agree. Tennessee versus the winner, Miami, Ohio, and SMU.
Tennessee. Unless you want to think SMU is beating Miami, Ohio, which I'm fine with.
I'm okay with Tennessee. They've come on. I've liked how they've played down the stretch. Nate Ament, their big wing, the freshman's been really good. I'm okay with this. I'm not UVA. I actually really like this year. I'm not going to buy into like Wright State beating them.
No, I'm not buying that.
I will, however, buy into Santa Clara.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm fine with that.
The Fighting Sasha Govalyagas, and also like I'm going to say right now, this game you will hear the name Alan Graves. Remember the name Alan Graves. Alan Graves is a phenomenal basketball player. He's going to come up a lot. He doesn't even show up on their thing here, but I'm telling you, Alan Graves will be a huge part of why Santa Clara wins.
I just haven't been like elated with Kentucky since Pope took over.
Yeah, so are the Kentucky fans. It's also the same. I like this Santa Clara. Sasha hitting a big shot for them. Iowa State is who I'm picking. I'm not allowing any other discussion there.
Yeah.
Michigan, St. Louis.
Michigan. I'm not letting you do it.
Okay.
Not in this bracket.
Not this bracket. I'll make my case later.
I think St. Louis
No, not for this. Not for this.
Yeah.
I'm okay picking them to beat St. Louis. That's not my. I'm going to argue against Michigan winning the title. Is my ultimate thing.
Okay. Akron versus Bama.
We've already said we want. Do we want to just do it?
I gotta see pace. Akron likes to play fast.
I think we just do it. We almost didn't pick them versus Hofstra, and then we like logicked it out.
Yeah, fuck it.
All right, Tennessee versus Virginia. I actually really love this matchup. This is like a really, really fun one. So Tess DeRitter, big man, freshman or no senior, I can't remember. He came across from. It's his first time playing college basketball. He came across from Finland, I want to say, somewhere like that. Really good. This is a strong Tennessee team. I weirdly kind of want to pick Tennessee.
So it's interesting because I don't think this is like I don't think Ryan Odom is going to lead this like, oh, Virginia always gets upset.
No.
Type thing here. They play slow, but not as slow as they used to.
Yeah.
They can score the ball. They have a good offense.
Dallin Hall, Chance Mallory, like they're very good. It's a very good UVA team.
Tennessee plays slower.
Yep.
And is actually more of a defense forward team versus an offense forward team.
If you're trying to say you want to pick UVA, I'm not going to fight against it because I actually do like this UVA team and think this is a coin flip.
Interestingly, I'm like, man, Rick Barnes always fucking fails to get just that extra round out of his team. And is this the year that he actually does it?
I'm picking Virginia.
Yeah.
Because I don't believe that this is the year that it does it.
Yeah.
I love Santa Clara, Iowa State.
Yeah, we're good with that.
All right. So now we have our Sweet 16.
We have our Sweet 16. How do we feel about it?
It's a little chalky. So we have all I think every 3-2. No, not every 3-2. Actually, it's not that bad. So we have 1-5, 11-2, 1-4, 6-2, 1-5, 1-12, 3-2, 3-2.
Okay. All right.
All right.
Fine.
All right.
Let's get into it.
Are we gonna do it? This is where I like actually picked in my like first one that I did. I picked St. John's, just like what my heart told me. I picked St. John's. This is a fucking really good St. John's team when they lock in. Now, obviously, Duke is fucking phenomenal as well. Like, that's not to take anything away from Cam. I think the Cam Boozer Zuby Ejiofor thing, if this happens, would be fucking cinema. Let's see what the previews say.
There's really no logical reason to pick St. John's.
Ugh.
But this is the one matchup that Duke does not have. Well, one of a few, but Duke does not have the coaching edge.
Mm-hmm. I guess it depends on Duke's injuries. Like if Patrick Nongba comes back, then I might have to pick Duke.
I love the way St. John's is playing right now.
They're just playing so well. All right.
Fuck it. Johnny.
But now we have because we're not going to pick South Florida.
Yes, I love this. I love this. Round 4.
All right. Do we want to go to the Final Four, or do we want to get the Elite 8 before? Let's send to the Final Four. What are we going to do? UConn's up 2-1 in the series, right? Yeah.
No. St. John's is
St. John's up 2-1.
Revenge game for Connecticut.
Yeah. Yeah. I wouldn't pick UConn to go to the Final Four like naturally, but here we are. All right, Florida versus Vandy. We just saw Vanderbilt beat Florida.
Vandy.
In the SEC game.
I go the opposite. This is not the revenge game now.
Okay.
Vandy takes them.
And I've kind of been down on Florida all year. So,
Illinois.
I'll allow it.
Illinois over Houston.
These are two of my favorite teams in the country, but I'll allow it. And then I'm going Illinois over Vanderbilt.
Cool.
All right, back up to the top.
Ooh, that actually sets up a fun UConn.
It does. Arizona, Arkansas. I do know my mom and pa. I know it's Alabama, Arkansas, but that's still fun. I'm picking Arizona. They've been the most complete team all season in my eyes. I love Arkansas, but Arizona is phenomenal.
Okay.
BYU, Purdue. I just don't think BYU in this. Well, how does Purdue guard? I mean, I guess you throw Kaufman-Wren at DeBansta. I'm trying to think about like how this would work. I think
Purdue has the most efficient offense in the country.
Yeah, I think it's Purdue. I don't think BYU's defense can keep up. Smith would outperform Rob Wright. Clough is just like a nice, jacked. Yeah, I'm fine with this. And then I cannot pick against Arizona. If you're going to make a case for Purdue, I'll hear it, but I can't pick against Arizona.
Arizona.
All right. Michigan. We didn't talk about them that much. Actually, I'll let you say. Who would you pick?
Iowa State.
Okay, cool. So this is where I want to say I'm picking Iowa State here. I think Iowa State this is my favorite team like in the country this year. And I'm picking Iowa State.
You got it. I'm not fighting you.
But this would be such a good game. Oh, this would be a fun game.
As I said, I think I said to you that Iowa State, Michigan would feed families.
Yeah, this would be such a fun game. So here we get UConn, Illinois, a rematch of 2 years ago when UConn 30-0'd them. Arizona, Iowa State, a rematch of multiple times through the season, and also just 2 days ago, when they had one of the best games you'll ever see in the Big 12 semifinals, where Jaden Bradley, who I believe is the best point guard in America. And when I say best point guard, I don't mean like best NBA prospect. I think that's Darius Acuff. I don't mean like what Braden Smith is like. I think Jaden Bradley's the best point guard. I'd go to war for him. What are we thinking here? Here's the thing. If you ask me, does UConn get to the championship game? I'm saying no. But here we are.
To me, this is Illinois is better. I've said this whole entire year that I think UConn goes one round further than everyone thinks they're going to go. But then the next game, they're going to die.
I think I love this Illinois team too. I love a lot of teams here. Actually, UConn's the only one that I don't necessarily love this year, and I like UConn.
I don't even know how we wound up with UConn in our Final Four. In my head, that statement that I had made was like UConn wins its Sweet 16 game and then loses in the Elite Eight
because they had St. John's.
It's because they had St. John's.
Yeah.
If they played Duke, I would pick Duke.
All right, let's go Illinois. I gotta pick Arizona.
It's so weird. It's like, but they just played one of the better games of the season.
Yeah.
The other night, Arizona and Iowa State.
Yep. Also, underrated thing, Illinois being in Indiana. Like, I know obviously, but like that'd be interesting. For the Final Four, I gotta go Arizona, not Arizona State.
Okay.
And then fact check me, but this was the 2005 championship, right? Illinois versus.
That feels.
No, did they play? Because 2005.
No, 2005 was UNC.
It was UNC, but was Arizona in the
UNC
Final
won.
Four?
No, Arizona was in the Elite Eight. They played. Illinois and Arizona played in the Elite Eight.
Okay, I knew there was a 2000. They played each other in 2005. I thought it was the title, but okay.
Illinois lost to North Carolina in the championship game in 2005.
Okay. I mean, my pick is Arizona, but
is Illinois the right team to end the Big Ten streak? Does that feel good?
It's so wrong that it's. I think we got to go Arizona. I think it's got to be Arizona.
All right, before we click it,
go
through the bracket. Each of us gets one.
Ooh, I like this.
Each of us gets one.
Like mulligan to like
veto.
Yep.
Like now that you've seen the bracket play out, go back and be like, that's not how it's going to go.
I like this. Chris, you go first.
Let's scroll through it.
All right. So yeah, I'm just gonna go to like the round. We have Duke TCU, then Duke St. John's. We have all of these happening here. Then we have Florida getting there, Vanderbilt, Illinois, Texas A&M. All these games here. Santa Clara, Virginia. St. Louis.
I don't know that I have a good.
You don't have
to. I think my mulligan might be
Villanova over Arizona.
No, definitely not. Although that would be funny if you did your eventual national champion thing. Where I'm getting like where I want to use my mulligan, if I had to, is like coming up with UConn St. John's feels
wrong.
Feels wrong. It feels wrong. It feels wrong. It feels like UConn St. John's will not be an Elite Eight game.
Can I then make a suggestion?
Go ahead.
It's like we pick Cal Baptist over Kansas. Or sorry, we pick Kansas. Oh God. Never mind.
How does that solve anything?
Yeah, it doesn't solve anything. Do we pick Duke over St. John's? I think it's the that has to be the fix.
Yeah, I think so.
Ugh. making it short.
I know. And then now I hate UConn in this game.
Yeah, and I'll take Duke.
Yep.
Do we leave this?
Duke versus Illinois is an interesting one.
I kind of like leaving it.
Duke Arizona was a championship game, right? 2001.
Yeah.
25 years later, do they meet again?
I don't mind that. That's a nice little narrative. They've been doing actually, yes. Because you've seen that Twitter of this day in 2001.
Yes.
Because if Duke Arizona was 2001, which I'm pretty sure it was. Arizona won. I think we have to do it then.
Okay, now who cuts down the nets?
Well, hold on. Also, I want to use my mulligan.
Oh, go ahead.
I want to use my mulligan. And my mulligan puts Georgia to the final, to the Sweet 16.
Oh my
or
God.
Elite 8. Puts Georgia to the Elite 8. That's my mulligan.
Okay.
All right. Georgia, don't let me down.
Georgia to the Elite 8 feels nuts. But like,
let's get nuts.
That's fine. Okay, go ahead. All right, so then Duke, Arizona.
Did they? No, Duke, Michigan played in DC. If you want to make a case for Duke, go ahead and make it. My pick is Arizona.
Okay.
All right. No
Duke
case.
won in 2001.
Oh, then this is perfect. Let's get the rematch.
They get the rematch, and Arizona gets the job done.
All right, we'll see. This is going to be the perfect bracket, guys. Don't you worry.
And what's the tiebreaker?
I'm gonna say 81-72.
You picked it's a total points.
Yeah, so I'm 81-72 Arizona. So
clash of styles. Duke slower, Arizona faster. It probably salts out to the middle of that. Go with the classic 77-74. That's a classic Final Four.
That is a classic Final Four score.
It's the score that UConn beat Duke go in.
Yeah.
It's the score that we beat UNC in. 77-74 feels right. Like,
how chalky. Yuck. All right, but we submitted the bracket. And there we go. So I'm going to stop sharing. I am going to put the link to, first off, let me click join group. The full 40. Oh, I'll fix that. But I'm going to throw this invite link into the chat for anybody who would like to join. It should be open. And I'll tweet it too. But yeah. All right. We've made our bracket. We had something else to do, but we've been flapping here for a bit. Unless you really want to do what I put in the chat about our March Madness Heroes draft.
Oh, I don't care.
All right, we're good then. So the link to it's in the chat. I'll also put it up on our Twitter. If anybody wants to just join this bracket and see this nonsense that Chris and I just put together. My Georgia mulligan is either going to be a genius move or they're going to be like, what the fuck were you thinking? When Georgia loses by like 30 to St. Louis. Oh, gosh. All right. Well, this has been a fantastic and fun episode. As a reminder, we're in the NCAA tournament, both teams, men's and women's, both there. The women play Texas Tech. I actually don't know what day yet. I don't know if they came out with it. It probably came out while we were talking. But they'll be playing Texas Tech for the right to go play more than likely LSU and Baton Rouge. The men, we are going to be playing here in San Diego and versus Utah State. I'm sure you'll see some stuff from us during the week. Just us flapping and thinking about this game. Chris, anything you want to end with?
where I started.
Where you started.
This was a technically successful season.
Yep.
And it doesn't matter what happens this weekend to validate or not validate that. But
Yeah.
8 seed, we would have signed on the line. But it could have been a 6.
Could have been.
But it could have been a 6. Probably should have been a 6. But we are where we are.
Honestly, it all works out. I got to go see the Cats play. All right, everybody. Well, I know it's late on the East Coast. Thank y'all for listening. And as always, let's go Nova. I clicked the wrong button.
Yes!